It is Monday, September 22nd, 2025, 8:39 in the evening, my local time. As you already know, I posted plenty on the evidence of my stuff, and I find that some people have tergiversed the meaning of both my music releases, including my album, because of title and other things, some of my social media posts, ignoring timelines of dates and other things, and simultaneously the topics under my AdonaiOrion.com website on the section of capital B blog and the other posts that might talk about some things that some people want to continue to pass as conspiracy or assumptions based upon data when the data and the content and the explanations are plentiful, showing the different aspects, including the social harm and that on my personal life, denigration, etc., the individuals involved, and obviously here where I wanted to touch on the basis just because some people want to denigrate me, lessen me, and pretend that my story does not matter, and ignore the fact that the exposures of several wrongdoings that are happening right now in society and have happened in the last while are because of my sole effort, while everybody has tried to piece it apart, pass it as theirs, and continue to. With this in mind, I thought I would add one more point of aspect, several layers upon. Of course, beyond what I'm going to cover are the matter of the fact, and of course, beyond even the things mentioned here, or how some people might want to pretend that it's just some lightness of reference, have the implications mentioned of a worse future and other actions ahead based upon, again, their wrongdoing and how in the year 2018 it just began a sort of round practice of what actions to take in the later future, the cycles of numerology, other aspects of occultism with the number, the cycles from 1 to 9, the number of the years adding. So in this case, 2025 being year 9, the dates off, and other things further add to their perspective. And so with that, of course, my album release date, the issues experienced and attempted of removing it, besides my evidence, obviously proving everything in the attempts to gaslight, to denigrate my evidence, my speech, my upsetness for harassment, trying to glorify individuals based upon racial nonsense, trying to denigrate the fact I am an actual survivor of rape, captivity, torture, pedophilia, domestic abuse, and try to compare that, someone who still has had a choice to either take off their clothes or prostitution in that, and has had options in their life, even including being given celebrity status and choosing all those things, versus a person who's actually gone through torture, rape, abuses, no, not even creating situations in their life, but unfairly, and has struggled through life, suffer from disabilities, and is a self-made individual, and try to play from gender, race cards, positions in life, situations, and try to pretext that somehow all these abuses and all these things don't mean the same, while trying to glorify individuals who not only live in much more better situations, even through their life struggles like anybody else has, including the richest people in the world. You cannot compare one person to another. And again, I'm not obviously comparing myself, but just mentioning the attempts, including to the most recent, and several other things from race, gender, preference, and other things, religious, geolocation, etc., even looks and other things, and try to pass me as something that I'm not, hater and envious, whatever other things, a person who's done nothing but positive things in life, even through all of these, has been respectful to others, and the denigration lessening, not being taken to my face and pretend that I'm supposed to tell you thank you, is a different story than from me stooping to the levels of every individual, top to bottom, across male, female, whatever their stories, and the actions done upon my life in every aspect, all the way from lessening to actual real life harassment, assaults, destruction of my belongings, attempted physical assaults, etc., and other things, malpractice, medical, and other forms of harassment, and several other things across, which goes to prove the point of what is an actual survivor, a person who's gone through things and lives their own life, versus people who, no matter what their story is from, having had even at that moment of being aware of different things in manners that others shouldn't, goes to show that they live in a level of privilege and benefit by taking actions that they could be doing something better, and even if just for themselves and others, they choose to do rotten things, denigrate lesson, and try to pretend that that somehow is how things are supposed to be done in life. So with all of that, of course, bringing it back to the points here of the what I myself title here, and the insinuations of other people trying to pretend those mean other things. The word Rococo meaning literally a mix of style art that I've been original from even before it came in the mouths of any of these people who try to pretend there's some form of genius that has never existed, nor in reality, nor as themselves, let alone that. And basilisk, and again another word for a fictional character of a version of dragon snake. And then the other points here, and the whole thing of the illusions of becoming by simply gathering data, collecting live watching devices, steal someone's identity, authenticity, artistic knowledge, and otherwise, and try to presume of being that knowledgeable and so on, just because of the exceptions of watching, listening, putting things together, having other people, computer systems, etc., and try to pass that as just one self-knowledge, which is the case of the individuals all mentioned across in all of these things, of course. So with this, diving into a particular movie here called Contagion, and you can see right there, the release date was September 9, 2011. The September 11 mention, the year 2018 numerology, the year 2025 this one numerology, the Chinese zodiac and other aspects, including just mentioning that, the destruction of my belongings, removal of myself from my own property paid for, all proven in court for the year 2023, etc., 2024, again, zodiacs, elements, and other things, including the Chinese zodiac, etc., mine, and the petri dishes, and all of that really adds to, of course, September 11 and the situation with the Twin Towers and other aspects as to the perspective of all the points across. This statement by Elon Musk about of what their employees are supposed to potentially die from, cars crash, than the coronavirus, and every bit of aspects, several more than I decided to list here, because I don't get paid, I don't get recognition, I don't get any respect for anything that I've already done, other than people piecing it apart, passing it as to the perspective of just how the level of evidence is of not only what's already happened, but what is to come, and how absolutely nobody else has been capable of doing this. And even my explanations, my showing, does not grant anyone absolutely the knowledge and understanding of being able to pinpoint all of these things. Allen, and other things really add to this perspective. Having some sort of British accent and the whole proper British and other things adds to the perspective. Matt Damon being another member there on the movie. Character names, meanings, etc. really adds. Matt Damon's cryptocurrency with Elon Musk. And other things which started since 2018, 2019, not as dates shown here, further add to the perspective. The background of the purchase of land for the third gigafactory dates. Again, you can see the date there and what it is about. You're welcome to pause to read or search for it. The Shanghai Gigafactory, which also has the name, it's the way you pronounce the Hong Kong and the virus have a connection, of course, which you can see on my notes on my website. The Met Gala date and the date of the purchase of the land really adds to the perspective. Grimes receiving a mansion, which is just pretty much around the same exact timeline. Her life path, Elon Musk's life path, 1 and 7. The address, their debut at the Met Gala. All the points to see here with changing her name to C. Again, the timeline of the dates. The number 3 in the Pythagorean theorem being the letter C. Here with other points, including Elon Musk tweeting these. Not included here, then mocking at the Met Gala that it's about a character named like Marie Antoinette that is supposed to be tortured by an AI. AI being used as augmented intelligence, which is data depth, knowledge depth, and passing it as oneself. In this case, you can see all my data and stuff. And then in reference the tweet exchange with Richard Branson. You can find that under my mention about Virgin Galactic and other things, besides several other posts across, including on my website. And my exchange being before all of these things and doing it, and them doing it and aligning their stuff to try to give themselves intellect that they do not possess. Several other aspects here noted. Tesla debts, big time timeline. You can find that on the tesladebts.org or something of the sort. You can just search what the website is. Patient Zero in the movie died from a car running them over. Big and bad references of where the things, Chinese zodiacs, all that. I'll note that to the points that I mentioned across. Robert name, and both Roberts, Iger and Pattison. Allen, Iger, good one, Elon, with Elon Musk, tweet a mean joke and plagiarism of my things, my life, my image, and the Optimus as sexual degradation in cyborg body, all that in the year 2021. Robert Pattinson, 2019, Batman, Suki Waterhouse, Water Delusion, Smart Smoke, and Plagiarism Thread, and which already was in process of an announcement, and they already had done it since 2016, making references of it. An announcement on my 33rd birthday, August 2018. Again, the whole August 4th being the 2018 being the post with the name Rise from the Ash, and someone with congratulations, beautiful Phoenix. Next to 425 Insecure, August 7th, Elon Musk, and then Grimes pretending to go into labor and pretending that it was on a live show that was actually not live, it was pre-recorded, and that being May 2nd, which is exactly 9 months from August 2nd, my actual birthday, and then pretending that the kid was born on May 4th, which will be exactly 9 months from August 4th, date of the poem, Rise from the Ash, nicknaming the kid Ash, and naming it Angel in reference adds to the perspective. Having a Colombian woman ask for the kid's name, myself being Colombian born, the jokes of 2018 of proper British, and then British Columbia over there. Suki Waterhouse, Robert Pattinson being British, adds to all the perspective besides several other liars. Elon Musk posting death by water, Phoenician reference is a very long point for people who don't understand that. And actually the Phoenician is a very small section of the entirety of the poem. And this being done after I get my stuff here. All of that adds to several references, really adds to all the points of evidence, which are overwhelming besides all the data match and several other things that I have not bothered to. Chibi Usas, my reference post of for several years, but specifically in March 2018, with myself wearing pink hair and my pendant, and Elon Musk following Grimes on the exact same date, plus everything that was on their profiles, avatars, and others further add to the perspective of the fictitious character and her mother being Serena Tsukino and Sailor Moon, the situation with Suki and Tsukino, the lights of Thai diver and British and other things, and there's a dish called Suki, trying to compare Suki and noodles and dragons and snakes, etc. Chinese zodiacs references, try to pretend that one thing is the other and pretend that affiliations with foreign governments to help their coup and their versus and their armor protections or shielder of things, which is not the reality. Even the individual name Avicii Timberlake and their death date April 20th, 2018, 420, and the 420 found insecure, the locations where he passed away, and others as to the perspective, nothing to do with my life, but another one who were constantly making references of my stuff while having absolutely no affiliation, etc. really adds to that perspective of all the things when you see things like Robert Iger trying to pretend later on being enemies of Elon Musk, using here with the Donald Trump versus Elon Musk, they pretend of shorts versus long stockholders in the same company of Tesla and other affiliated, etc., as I mentioned there. Robert Pattinson getting the role for Batman in the year 2019 around his birthday, and several other things, etc., including someone stealing my Batman hat, which is on picture since 2016, and other adds to the perspective, letter delusions, name delusions, color delusions, not just racial, but my name, therefore this, blah, blah, blah. Really adds to the perspective, numerology, dates, name initials, sum, etc., all of that, and destiny numbers and other things, matching their children with dates, zodiacs, elements, and therefore, again, continue to add to all of these things here. Yeah, myself, I am Colombian, of course. My last name Pendragon, and the whole dragon there. But besides Pen, writer, etc. As to the perspective, the legend of King Arthur Pendragon, and other things. The whole thing with British and other things. And again, the whole preparation that really adds to the perspective across. Of course, the time when I took this because I wasn't doing it at the same time and other. And like I say, a long list of like things, etc. really add to the perspective of the grossness of absolutely everything proven here. References in TV shows, movies, other things, and just layer upon layer of nothing but disgusting and disturbing takes on people's lives, etc. In this case, the harassment, the assault of my life, the denigration of myself, the silencing of my, progress through my attempts on my careers, etc. For that a death, the companies I've been a paying customer of, all the people who continue to profit from my stuff and the gaslighting and the denigration, etc., etc. If not to try to play victim, if not to try to play some successful and I'm a nobody, etc. In desperation to try to erase the matter of the fact of everything shown here. And this is really my last of anything that has to do with the world. Whatever happens next on that, I obviously don't get paid, don't get recognition. No one has had even the basics of respect of, supporting someone in social media or other things. But I have no had a problem with going through my things, taking it, passing it for themselves, and hoping to be incentivized. Quite literally, the picture of very self-destructive individuals, a survivor of rape, captivity, torture, pedophilia, incest, coming from low income, simultaneously being a domestic abuse, torture, and rape survivor, disabled during medical malpractice, a mother of a child who also was disabled unfairly through medical malpractice, served with injustice. All of these things also match in all of these. My belongings destroyed, proven in court, all of these aspects, and serve yet little justice. Oh, besides the recognition that, yeah, all the things are there, but this didn't get signed by a doctor, so you're not going to get any remuneration. And there are no laws to say that, that they have to give you your belongings or your home back or any of that stuff. So with all of that, I bid you adieu forever, and I wish you nothing but what you actually deserve, not what you assume in your corners or pretending that whatever you're thinking or doing equals the good or the justice or the recognition a person like me deserves with everything received, gone through, done, improving my own justice, etc. And even helping the world through horrible things like war, and including these things, which obviously in the hands of the geniuses you people seem to favor, you would have ended up with so much worse.